Okay, so if you've ever used Citrix, you know the feeling. That moment of pure frustration when the system just tells you, nope, can't do that. But what if I told you that strictness isn't a flaw? What if it's the very core of its strength? Today we're going to pull back the curtain and see why Citrix's restrictive nature is actually incredibly smart.
I mean, you know what I'm talking about, right? You try to copy a simple file or plug in a USB drive, something that should take 2 seconds, and Citrix just puts up this invisible wall. It feels frustrating for sure, but what if all that frustration is just a sign that the system is doing its job exactly the way it was designed to? Let's dig into why this strictness isn't just a random feature, but the entire point of Citrix.
You see, to really get what Citrix is about, you have to adopt something called security thinking. And it's actually a pretty simple but really profound shift in your mindset. You just assume things will go wrong. You assume your users are going to click on that weird link, and you assume that every single device connecting to your network is a potential threat. Once you start from that place, every single design choice you make starts with one crucial question: how do we protect our people and our company from the inevitable?
And this whole security thinking mindset, it leads to a single, really powerful philosophy that basically explains everything about Citrix. It's the one rule that governs every feature, every restriction, every little thing you run into. And honestly, it's elegantly simple.
And here it is, the big one. Never trust the endpoint. This is the golden rule, the absolute bedrock of Citrix. So what's an endpoint? It's your laptop. It's your phone. It's that random computer at the coffee shop. You know, any device you use to connect. Citrix operates on this fundamental belief that you can never, ever be 100% sure if any of these devices are truly safe.
I mean, just think about your own work habits for a second. Are you always on a secure, company-issued, perfectly managed device? Or do you sometimes, use your personal laptop, a public computer at a hotel, your phone on some sketchy public Wi-Fi? And what if one of those devices has malware on it? Citrix just assumes this is the reality for everyone, which is why its default position is always, sorry, I can't trust that device, so I'm not letting it in.
Okay, so how does this whole never trust philosophy actually keep you safe in the real world? Well, let's use a simple analogy that's going to make it all click. A bank. So put yourself in this position. Imagine you're the manager of a bank. Your number one most important job is to protect your customers' money. You have to let them get to their accounts, sure, but you absolutely cannot compromise on security. So, how would you do it?
Well, first things first, you'd centralize everything. You wouldn't just mail piles of cash to your customers, right? No way. You'd keep it locked up tight in your vault and let them access it through secure channels, like an ATM. You demand some serious proof of identity before you let anyone in the door. Then, you'd set really strict rules about what they can do. Sure, they can check their balance, make a transfer, but they can't just wander into the vault and start reprogramming the security system. And of course, you'd be watching every single transaction for anything that looks even a little bit suspicious. It's just common sense, isn't it?
And boom, now just swap out the word money for data and what you've just described. That's the Citrix security model. Your company's apps and files, that's the money in the vault. They never leave the secure data center. The policies that your admin sets, those are the bank rules that decide what you can and can't do. And that secure connection to your device, that's like the ATM. It's a totally controlled way to get to your assets without ever letting your potentially insecure device touch the vault itself.
And this whole bank mindset, it's not just a clever idea. It directly tackles the 5 biggest headaches in IT today. Worried about data leaks? Well, the data stays in the vault because Citrix can block you from copying and pasting to your personal device. Worried about unpredictable users? It builds guardrails, assuming that someone somewhere is absolutely going to click a phishing link. For all those untrusted endpoints, laptops, phones, whatever, it gives you a secure window into the system without ever actually letting the device in. This also makes things like compliance for GDPR or HIPAA way easier, because you can prove sensitive data never left your control. And at its heart, it is the perfect example of a zero-trust model. Trust nothing, validate everything.
Okay, so we've established why Citrix is so strict. But to really, truly appreciate it, let's flip the script. Let's do a little thought experiment. What would the world look like if Citrix just wasn't so strict? And let me tell you, it is not a pretty picture.
I mean, what if Citrix just threw out its never trust rulebook? What if it just let any old device connect without any restrictions and just hope for the best?
The result?
absolute chaos. And it's not a question of if things would go wrong, it's a question of how fast. Sensitive company data would be leaking out onto unsecured personal laptops, one accidental copy-paste at a time. Ransomware that infects an employee's home computer could just jump right into your company's network and encrypt your most critical servers. It would be a hacker's paradise, a total free-for-all for data thieves. This isn't some made-up worst-case scenario. It is the inevitable, incredibly costly outcome of a non-strict security model. That strictness is the wall that prevents all of this from happening.
And this brings us to the most important takeaway of all. It's time we changed how we think about the word strict. Instead of seeing it as a limitation, we really need to start seeing it as a sign of a smart, professional security strategy.
Look, if there's just one thing you remember from all of this, let it be this. The strictness you feel when you use Citrix is not a bug. It's the entire philosophy. It is a deliberate, calculated, and absolutely essential part of its design.
So let's redefine the word. In the world of security, strict means safe. It means predictable. It means professional. It means you are taking the job of protecting your company's most important asset, its data, seriously.
And that leaves us with one last thing to chew on. As we move deeper and deeper into this era of zero-trust security, where we just assume any device could be compromised at any time, doesn't it feel like this super strict, centralized model is pretty much the only sane way forward? Maybe strictness isn't just a Citrix thing anymore. Maybe it's the new standard for security everywhere.
Hi everyone. First of all, thank you for watching this video. My name is Naresh. I am the content creator behind this YouTube channel. I have created a community for Citrix learners where I will be posting a lot of details on Citrix products and how to work in Citrix environments. I'm going to mention the link in the video description so you can click on that link and you can become part of the community. All right, see you soon. Bye-bye.